discusses ongoing investigation into rapper and producer Diddy Combs for potential sex trafficking charge. Federal authorities have raided Combs' properties in Miami and Los Angeles, and he faced allegations from past lawsuits and cooperating witnesses. Potential charges under federal statute, including sex trafficking of children or adults through force, fraud, or coercion, and providing individuals with drugs and alcohol in exchange for sex acts. Combs' ex-girlfriend Cassandra Ventura has filed a lawsuit against him for alleged sexual and physical abuse, which could constitute sex trafficking if true. Additionally, Combs is accused of transporting individuals across state lines for prostitution and illegal sex acts, promising things of value in exchange, and using threats and violence to coerce people. The influence and impact of Sean Combs, also known as P. Diddy, on the entertainment industry are discussed. Combs rose to fame in the early 1990s and filed Bad Boy Records in 1993, which brought in big names like the Notorious B.I.G., French Montana, and Pitbull. He also had success in music, winning a Grammy Award for his album No Way Out. Combs' business venture extended beyond music, including a clothing line, fragrance lines, and a drink geared to athletes. He has also acted in films and TV shows and was a judge on a reality show. Oreo Day, a former member of Danity Kane, accused Combs of firing her for not complying with his expectations. Combs has been linked to several high-profile relationships, including with Jennifer Lopez, who may be issued a subpoena due to her connection to a shooting incident involving Combs in 1999. The investigation into Combs' involvement in sex trafficking is ongoing, and it is unclear if Lopez will be subpoenaed. P. Diddy has various business ventures, including a restaurant, liquor brand, clothing line, and television network. Combs has been worth up to $800 million and made $16 million annually from his liquor business alone. However, he has been accused of being involved in a criminal racketeering enterprise, as outlined in a lawsuit, which includes his company and associates as defendants. The allegations against Combs include forcing and threatening people to transport drugs, guns, and solicit sex workers, with the common purpose of enriching himself financially and sexually. The lawsuit could potentially result in significant financial damage and harm to Combs' reputation. Combs has used power and influence to intimidate and threaten individuals. Potential criminal charge against Sean Combs based on allegations from civil lawsuits. The allegation includes sex trafficking of adults and minors, as well as prostitution. Combs is accused of transporting individuals across state lines for prostitution and illegal sex acts, promising things of value in exchange, and using threats and violence to coerce people. The potential application of federal statutes, such as 18 U.S.C. 2421A and 2422B, which carry penalties of up to 10 and 20 years in prison respectively, for knowingly transporting someone for prostitution or illegal sex acts, and inducing or attempting to induce a minor to engage in prostitution or illegal sex act. Additionally, there are allegations of filming and broadcasting sexually explicit conduct involving minors, which could result in charge under 18 U.S.C. 2251 and 18 U.S.C. 2422B, carrying penalties of up to 15 to 30 years in prison and up to 10 years in prison, respectively. Potential crimes that could be applied to Sean Combs based on the allegation against him. The possibility of charging Combs with forced labor under 18 U.S.C. 1589, which carries up to 20 years in prison. They also discussed racketeering, known as RICO, as another potential crime, which involves a criminal enterprise and spans several sections of the Federal Criminal Code. potential racketeering activities related to obscene matter and controlled substance, as well as allegations of firearms possession and shooting. They explained that ICO charge could be brought against Combs as part of a conspiracy, and that others could be identified as co-conspirators. Racketeering crimes can result in 5 to 20 years in prison. The potential legal issue that Sean Combs could face, specifically regarding firearms and drug charge. If weapons with scratch serial numbers or certain types of firearms were recovered from Combs' properties, he could be in violation of the U.S. Code. Additionally, if Combs is an unlawful user or drug addict, he could also be in violation of federal law. It is illegal to use a firearm in drug trafficking or violent crimes. Combs could also face federal drug charge for distributing controlled substance, and mere possession of controlled substance is also a crime. Someone could be charged with aiding and abetting a crime even if they did not personally commit it. Videos and interviews that have surfaced since the news of the raid, including one with a comedian who claimed that Combs had turned down $50 million to protect his integrity, and another video of Combs interacting with a then 15-year-old Justin Bieber, which has raised concern given what is known about Combs' party lifestyle. The relationship between Sean Diddy Combs and Usher, as well as allegations of uncomfortable scenes on the Nickelodeon show All That. Usher, who signed and produced Bieber, lived with Combs as a teenager and described his experience as intense and curious. The interview with Howard Stern in 2016 revealed Usher's hesitation to allow his kids to experience the same lifestyle. A resurfaced video from All That featuring Combs and Ashton Kutcher has gained attention due to the recent allegations of label violations and uncomfortable scenes on the show. Kutcher, a longtime friend of Combs, has not spoken out about the investigation or the allegation against his friend. The public backlash against Kutcher and his wife Mila Kunis for their support for Danny Masterson, who was convicted of sexual abuse, may be a factor in their silence. The dynamic between Ashton Kutcher and Sean Combs and the potential impact of the Danny Masterson situation on the current investigation into Combs. Kutcher's past experience with Masterson may have influenced his decision not to speak out about Combs' alleged involvement in sex trafficking. Combs and his team are rumored to have required those in their orbit to sign, preventing them from speaking out about any suspicious or illegal activities they may have witnessed. Several lawsuits have been filed against Combs, alleging sexual assault, rape, harassment, and sex trafficking, and that federal agents have raided 2 of his properties in connection to an ongoing investigation. Despite this, Combs has not been arrested or criminally charged, but experts predict that it is only a matter of time. Specific instances where individuals associated with Combs have hinted at suspicious or illegal activities and were required to sign NDA. A non-disclosure agreement related to an incident in Charlotte. A non-disclosure agreement related to an incident at Charlotte Recording Studios. The agreement, which was signed by attendees, reportedly included Combs and his son. However, the attendees of the writer camp was unaware that NDA do not cover reporting criminal activities such as shooting, sex trafficking, and the distribution and use of illegal drugs and guns. David Ring, a trial attorney specializing in sexual abuse cases, explained that NDA can be invalidated if they cover criminal activities or if someone is forced to sign under duress. The NDA in question was unusually broad, covering not only the signatory but also their estate, corporations, and affiliated entities, as well as their family members, relatives, and romantic partners. Bring and the host plan to break down the NDA in detail, noting that while they cannot guarantee its authenticity, it was part of the lawsuit. The concerns surrounding a non-disclosure agreement signed by Sean Combs, also known as P. Diddy, and the potential red flags it raised. The NDA, which is described as vague and overly broad, applies to anyone Combs knows, making it unclear who it applies to. The attorney, who is representing a former producer of Diddy's, expressed his concern about the document's implication and the power it gives to the person having it signed. The conversation then shifted to the ongoing sex trafficking investigation involving Diddy, with reports of raids on his home in Miami and Los Angeles by Homeland Security investigators. Diddy's sons, Justin and Christian, was detained during the raid but not arrested. The attorney mentioned that another lawsuit is expected against Christian, and it is revealed that a woman is filing the lawsuit, accusing Christian of drugging and sexually assaulting her on a charter boat in December 2022. The woman, Grace O'Malley, describes the yacht as having a hedonistic environment with rampant drug use among sex workers and celebrities, and alleged that Christian drinks were laced with drugs. These allegations echo those made in a previous lawsuit against Diddy by another producer, Rodney Jones. A woman named Omari Jones accused Christian Combs, the son of music mogul Sean Combs, of assaulting and sexually harassing her on a yacht. Jones claims that Combs blocked her, groped her, and tried to force her to perform oral sex on him. She also alleged that when she reported the incident to the yacht captain, he didn't believe her and retaliated against her. Jones reportedly has photos of bruises caused by the incident and claims that there are audio recordings of the event. The lawsuit against Combs and Diddy also mentioned Rodney Jones, a former music producer who is suing Diddy for rampant drug use, sexual assault, and sex trafficking. The lawsuit provides transcripts of audio recordings that allegedly show kissing sounds and Jones telling Combs not to touch her. The burden of proof in a civil case is lower than in a criminal case, and the lawsuit accused Combs of assault, battery, sexual assault, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Diddy is also named as a defendant for aiding and abetting Combs' behavior and having premises liability as the leaseholder of the yacht. The new allegations could potentially play a role in the future federal criminal prosecution of Combs, and it is unclear if this incident could be part of a sex trafficking or racketeering charge. Potential charge against Diddy related to a criminal enterprise involving conspiracy to violate the RICO statute. To prove such a charge, it would be necessary to demonstrate an agreement to break the law, a criminal enterprise, an overt act taken in furtherance of that enterprise. Question if certain actions, such as legal battles and allegations of depravity, could be considered overt. The attorney representing some of the accusers, Tyrone Blackburn, has faced criticism from judges for filing lawsuits with disturbing allegations and improperly in federal courts. These allegations come as Diddy and his sons face civil lawsuits related to sex trafficking and abuse, but no criminal charge have been filed against them at this point. Criminal defense attorney Mark Petero discusses the potential jury selection process for a hypothetical federal trial involving P. Diddy and his sons. Assuming they are criminally charged with sex trafficking in the Southern District of New York, Petero explained that jurors may forget the details of the case, especially those from allying counties, and that the selection process would be more streamlined than in state court. In a federal trial, judges have more control over the questioning of potential jurors, and they would be asked in depth about their knowledge and opinions of the case. The jury pool would likely be drawn from various counties, and summonses would be sent out with potential jurors, completing questionnaire before being brought in for selection. The process could be unpredictable, with the jury being selected in a day or taking a week. Aileen Tuchamir, a criminal defense attorney, discusses the potential for a fair trial for Sean Diddy Combs, who is currently under investigation for sex trafficking. Tuchamir explained that, despite the high-profile nature of the case and the graphic allegation, he believes a fair and impartial jury can be selected. He emphasized the importance of both sides carefully questioning potential jurors and conducting background checks to ensure the impartiality. The trial has not yet begun, and the roles of Combs and his son in the investigation are still unknown. The process involves sending out questionnaires to potential jurors to gauge their perspective and determine their suitability for the case. Those who express skepticism towards the government or support for Combs are less likely to be invited for further questioning. The government and Combs' defense team will ask general and case-specific questions during the voir dire process. General questions include opinions and prosecution, and the government's, while case-specific questions delve into personal experiences and attitudes toward sexual assault. Backgrounds, education, and profession of potential jurors are also considered important in determining which side would prefer them. Both sides will scrutinize jurors' social media backgrounds for additional information. It is important to note that neither Combs nor his son have been criminally charged in this case.